What do you think about the saying, nice guys finish last? I feel like you got guys out here thinking they have to be an absolute male organ just to gain a girl's respect. I'm gonna just let you in on something that I heard, and I'm not gonna hurt anyone up, so I'm just gonna say that I spoke to someone, a colleague called Simon, and I always ask him how he's getting on with someone that he was seeing, and this was out of politeness, because I'll be honest, like I wasn't that invested in Simon's story, but basically the story is that he liked this girl, he really wanted to be with this girl, though she told him that she just wanted to be friends. He also knew that she was still in love with her ex and she was moving on from the ex, and on top of that, she pretty much rejected him every chance she got. And he was still thinking that if he kind of brought her over, he would show that how invested he is, how much he likes her. I started to think, do you even like the girl, or you just want to win her over? You just want to prove to yourself you can get her? And I'm going to be honest, he showed me pictures. I felt like, and I'm not even trying to be rude, I felt like she was a bit out of his league. I'm going to be honest. Fine, fair enough, whatever. Do you go for it? I'm not saying don't go for it, but what I am saying is, when you're being rejected left, right and centre, probably best for your own ego that you just let it go and you try somewhere else. But no. Simon wanted to continue chasing this girl. Fine, fair enough. Again, do you. He's now upset that she has basically finally deaded it and just been like, look, I like you as a friend, after he's taken her out. And I suppose, up to her, whatever you want to think about her, she was trying to find her way of telling him no, and maybe she shouldn't have gone on the dates with him, or she shouldn't have accepted what he got and things like that, but at the end of the day, he did what he did. So at the end of it, he's not got her, and he's about that. So he's peed about the fact that he hasn't got her now, and that she wants to explore other options, and she still sees him as a friend. That's fine and everything. Learn your lessons and maybe take what you can from that. But I really can see how people do not reflect. They take no accountability. And not in the faintest bit are they self-aware enough to be like, this is the role that I played in this situation. Do you want to know what his conclusion was to what I just said? Not I ignored the red flags. Not she didn't really want me anyway, but I kept on pursuing. That's the result of what happened. None of that. The idea was that, you know how it goes. Nice guys finish last. Nice guys finish last. Bruh. Just looked at it and carried on nodding politely, because I was really actually just thinking, oh, wow, like that's what you took from it. Nice guys finish last. Bruh. I just wanted to kind of, I suppose just think about how we can really deceive ourselves into so much disillusion. We're actually here, like, okay, so we're actually here basically saying the universe punishes us for being nice. Like, that's basically what he's saying. That's what that whole concept means. Being nice means that you finish last. So if you believe in, like, yin and yang, balance, you get what you give, you reap what you sow. Like, if you believe in all of that, like, what you put out, you get back, and you're saying nice guys finish last, it just doesn't actually make energetic sense, because you're saying that you have good intentions, you have goodwill, you're fair, you're just, you treat people how you want to be treated, and in return, you finish last for that. Like, it's not even about being unnoticed or unseen for what you do or unappreciated. It just is like a law. You get out what you put out what you get back. That means if you're nice, you should get back niceness. You know, it just makes sense, you know? So I think it's really stupid in my eyes. And we're calling this person Simon. Remember Simon, no. I think you missed the whole assignment on this one. And I think this is where we need to think about reflecting and taking accountability, because that one just got me. It was just like, if Simon was my friend and not my colleague, I would have been like, wake the F up and stop acting like you are the victim. Stop this victim mentality. Victim mentality is so annoying because it's like, it's a perpetual cycle. If that's even a word, it's a perpetual cycle. It's literally basically looking for reasons as to why you're the problem, but never acknowledging that you're the problem. So basically, you're saying you're being punished for being too nice. So from all of that, you got the reason that you're being punished is because you're too nice. There was no part of you that thought, well, I was chasing someone that clearly said they didn't want me on numerous occasions. That's pretty much a red flag. You know, how many times you need to get rejected before they're really showing you that, you know, they don't want to be with you. Secondly, you're trying to impose your will onto this person, and you're also thinking that you can buy this person over, which is overextending. And then when they don't do what you want at the end, you're going to be like, I was too nice, and that's the reason. Like, sorry, but no. Sorry, no. Sorry, but no. I hear that, you know, that bullshit. I just think of a few things. I think either you're boundaryless, like you don't have boundaries, not even strong boundaries, you just don't have boundaries. You don't have the ability to say no when you mean no. And that usually comes from a space of either you're over-giving because you want to be accepted, you want to be liked, and fine, fair enough. You can do all that. You can want to be liked, you can want to be accepted. We all do. We all have those tendencies. But if it comes to a point where you're actually dismissing your feelings and abandoning yourself in order to make someone else happy, what message is that sending to the universe? What message is that sending out there energetically? It's literally saying, my feelings don't matter. I'm not as valid. My feelings aren't as valid as this other person's. And so therefore, I'm putting my feelings above my own. And then when the universe reflects that back to you energetically, you're surprised. The universe is just a mirror to how you feel about yourself, to what you think, to your belief system. And if your belief system is saying, I have to overgive in order for me to be accepted or taken seriously, or as a way of me, that's how it looks when I show up, you're going to find people that pretty much only show up when you overgive. And you will be stuck in that cycle of overgiving. The other thing is when you don't have respect for yourself. And I'm not saying that people who are nice don't get taken advantage of and don't get walked over. Don't misunderstand me. But what I'm saying is it's not because they're too nice. It's because they either don't have the boundaries, or they don't have the respect for themselves, or they believe that in order to be nice, you know, they should basically be self-deprecating or self-sacrificial. They have to basically sacrifice themselves in order to be nice, and that's not how being nice works. You can be nice and you can be boundaried. In fact, drop a like or a comment if you are nice, kind-hearted, but boundaried too. And you're not finishing last because you're nice. Stop bending yourself in half just to be liked. And then when things don't work out for you, being like, this is what I mean. This is what always happens. You believe that you have to overextend yourself to be liked, then again, you will be attracting people who expect you to do that, who expect you to bend yourself in half and overextend. And guess what? They will never be appreciative. And that's the cycle you will be stuck in. And then when that person walks away, you will be like, I gave them everything. Yes, that's the problem. That is the problem. Person will just be going through the same experiences with different people. You think to yourself, like, well, then how come I see so many male organs with partners who do the most for them? Well, 9 times out of 10, if you're an absolute asshole and you're like a horrible person and you treat people like crap and you don't know how to treat people and you're disrespectful and you treat people like doormats, 9 times out of 10, any partners that those type of people are getting, it's literally going to be a great match, because it's going to be the partner that they have is going to be the doormat, is going to have no boundaries, is going to have no respect for themselves, is going to put other people's feelings above theirs. Somewhere in that person's life, they learned that they have to put other people's feelings above theirs in order to be accepted, or in order to belong, or in order to feel safe. Somewhere along the lines, they've learned that. And 9 times out of 10, they will attract and align with someone that does treat people disrespectfully, treat people like a doormat, is controlling, is abusive. They'll just line up because one believes that that's what they have to do in order to receive what they think is love, and the other one just treats people like crap because they've been getting away with it. And you'll line up that way too. That person doesn't feel as though they can just show up as their authentic selves and be loved. And in those cases, it's sad. It doesn't mean that all nice people aren't nice. It just means that that's not the reason why they're finishing last. If you believe you're only valuable when you are overgiving, that's going to be the case every time. Do you feel like you need to earn love? If you're feeling like you need to earn love, you're going to attract somebody that's just going to show you the exact same thing. You can be the kindest person in the room and still have the boldest boundaries. You can say, I don't tolerate disrespect. I will not be emotionally available for someone who is inconsistent. And I can love you and still walk away. That is self-respect. That is high vibrational. That is niceness. That does not finish last. You were never too nice. You were just scared to disappoint people. And now you should be learning to not disappoint yourself before disappointing others. No one's saying not to show up for people, not to be kind, not to consider people's feelings, but it's just, how much are you doing that? How much are you abandoning yourself in the process of doing that? If you are in a position where you're pouring from an empty cup, bruh, no is a complete sentence. If you can give to yourself the way you can give to others, then you should be pouring from your reserve. And if you're pouring from your reserve, that's what's being kind, that's what's being nice. It's literally about being fair to yourself, being balanced. It's not about being selfish or being mean or being inconsiderate. So every time you feel taken advantage of, or it was my problem for being too nice, or whatever you want to tell yourself, dig a bit deeper. What was the outcome that you were hoping to receive from this situation? Because basically what you were doing is you were attached to the outcome. And when things didn't play out the way you wanted it to, you're falling victim. And victim is never cute. Victim mindset and victim behavior is just going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you disillusioned. And it's time we just started having honest conversations with ourselves, meaning, where did I go wrong here? What part did I play? What role did I play? How can I take accountability? I've had to do that as well. I've had to ask myself questions or dig a bit deeper. Yeah, it sucks and it hurts your ego. It bruises your ego a bit. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have a clear mind a very balanced reality, fair judgment, a sound mind, knowing in my heart what's right, what's wrong, that I'm being fair to myself, that I'm being fair to others. And that's truly what makes me, in my eyes, a kind and nice person. Treating myself with respect so that in return, others will treat me with respect. And it's a nice, evenly balanced flow of energetic exchange. Kindness doesn't mean setting yourself on fire to keep others warm. It means giving your warmth wisely. Truth is not necessarily easy, but it's how you bring about growth. I was able to truly show up as my most authentic self. The amount of growth that I've had over the years because of those hard conversations, because of the fact that I realized, okay, you need to have better boundaries. At the end of the day, you can really only control yourself. Pushing yourself aside and being like, I'm going to be the sacrificial lamb, and we don't have to do that. We just have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be true to ourselves. We have to honor ourselves, and we have to know thyself. Because once you know yourself, you will know when something doesn't feel right, when something feels like, okay, why am I doing this? Question yourself. Be a critical thinker. That is how you truly grow. You keep consuming these stupid ideas like nice guys finish last, and you're looking at the guy across the road or the girl across the road that is treating her guy like crap and he still sticks around. It doesn't mean that because you're being too nice or because you're being too kind or because you're not being firm enough or harsh enough or disrespectful enough or controlling enough, that's the reason why you're not getting your way. Actually fall back and think about your intentions towards things, and you'll get the answers that way. And guess what? The people that you believe are winning, they're usually very unhappy inside. So the people with the partner that you really wished you had, and it's like, it's time to reflect on your feelings about yourself. So check in with yourself. What is it that you actually believe about things? That what are the things that come to mind when you think about you and your belief system? What do you consume? What do you feed into? What kind of concepts do you feed into? And think about them and question them, and don't just accept it, because that is very much giving victim mentality, for you to just assume that actually this is why this is happening to me. There's always a part that you play in these things. So when it comes to people like Simon, my colleague, I, if anything, feel a little bit of sadness, pity, just like, because I understand that that person will just keep going through the same thing, and it will just loop round and round in circles until he actually wakes up and understands that you can't buy people, but that's a whole different story. But just understanding and able to take accountability to the role he played in that, and she's not actually the villain in this, and neither are you. You're human. Come better than that. Just think about it. Why would you be punished for being too nice? If it doesn't make sense, move past your ego. Keep going deep down into the soul or your subconscious and understand what the true issue is. It's all about growth, and it's all about reaching higher heights, and the only way you're going to do that is by having that honest conversation with yourself, truly understanding who you are and why you behave the way you behave, and making changes to that or adjusting that. And the worst part is about this is how people form such distorted opinions about males or females. And I don't mean to keep saying, because the nice guys finish last is obviously the statement, is obviously the concept, and my colleague was male, so I'm not saying just male, I'm saying male and female in general. Don't matter what you are, who you are, masculine, feminine, whatever. But the worst part is you're going to have people saying like, oh, this is why women are like this, and I hate men, this is how men are. And it's not, it's your experience with women and men, because you're going to keep attracting the same type of people that are going to validate the idea that you have. Let's just say it is the nice guys or girls finish last statement or whatever, or nice girls get whatever you believe is going to continue coming back to you, so it can validate that statement that you have, that you hold about the experiences that you've had, until you change the outlook that you have. You can control yourself. You can't control other people. But the people that you're going to be attracting energetically are ones that are going to validate those experiences over and over again. And you're going to say, women are like this and men are like that. And you're going to blame that. And you're going to continuously go round and round in circles and blame whatever sex it is that you deal with. You might even decide in the end that I'm just going to stay alone. Because no matter how much of myself I give, none of it is ever worth anything. It always ends up this way. Boo-hoo-hoo, it's all everyone else's fault. When actually, if you change the way you see things, everything will change. I really, really love Dame Dash. And you guys can say whatever you want about him. And yeah, I believe he can be a bit arrogant and stuff like that. But I really deep what he says a lot of the time. And one thing he really rung true for me was about perspective, because I'm always big on perspective. And I really, truly believe that if you change the way you see things, the world will bend for you. The universe, the energy, whatever, it's all energy. In my eyes, it's all energy. And I don't believe that the universe rewards or punishes you. I think it just is. And like I said before, I just believe that it mirrors whatever you believe. Your belief system is what you need to make sure that you've got some sort of control of or are working on. Anyway, so Dame Dash said, he was talking about perspective, and he just pretty much said, like, you can have two brothers, and one of the brothers is an alcoholic, beats his wife, is a horrible person when he's drunk, and you ask him, like, why do you do that? Why do you act like that? Why do you behave like that? And he says, I don't know, I just saw my dad do it. You know, that's the way my dad was. And then you could go to the other brother. He could be really successful, could be a good guy, good person, pretty down to earth, and you go out of him and he doesn't drink, and you say, you know, why don't you ever touch drink? Like, why don't you do that? I don't know, I saw my dad do it. And you know, that person won't touch alcohol because they saw the way their dad behaved and they don't want to become like their dad. And it's literally perspective. And I was like, whoa, that's such a good analogy, such a good example. And it's literally like you could be raised in the exact same household as siblings, and you can have two different perspectives on life or on the way you were brought up and things like that. And it's just about literally that. How do you experience things? How do you take things in? And once you start to realize how you experience things and how you take it in, learn how to emotionally regulate and come back from that. Because we can all have childhood wounds, childhood traumas, whatever else we've been taught that we have to earn love, whatever it is. But it's really just about, when do you start taking responsibility for it and being like, I'm an adult now and I don't want to live my life this way anymore. Because once you can start doing that, you're going to find that every time you're triggered, you're not going to just get peed off and decide that this person was wrong and you're angry at the world and blah, blah, blah. You're actually going to decide, this triggered me. Like, what needs healing? Where has this come from? Why did that thing make you feel triggered? It's never about the other person. It's always about you. The relationship that you want, the relationship that you're in, it is all about you. It is mirroring you. And if it's not, it's teaching you something. And you always have to be the brave person and decide, what is this teaching me? What do I need to learn here? This experience is yours. You were born into the world alone. You will die alone. I don't want it to sound bleak, but it's true. You've got to be happy and satisfied with the decisions and choices that you've made. And sugarcoating it and not being real with yourself, you're only going to be doing yourself a disservice, yourself a disjustice. Start becoming your own best friend. I'm telling you, this experience that you're having here on earth is all about you, and it's amazing connecting with other people along the way, along the journey. It's really nice, and it can be really special, and you can make some really great connections and some good memories and experiences. But at the end of the day, the way to enhance that and the way to feel good inside and at peace and in harmony is by really getting real with yourself. Make it your business to learn the best ways in which you can grow, so you can experience life in a much more happier and positive state. Because a lot of the time people are just walking around miserable. That's what I realized. And it's because of these things that we buy into, when ultimately we are really in a battle with ourselves, not anyone else. I'm telling you, send this to someone nice in your life that needs to remember and reclaim their power. Or drop a like if you're choosing to be kind and boundary. Remember guys, mindset matters, so let's create magic.